Hocus Pocus 2. 29 years later, we have a sequel to the original Hocus Pocus, and it feels weird to be saying Hocus Pocus 2. But I think that Hocus Pocus actually got a new life during the pandemic, a new popularity, so Disney saw that and decided to greenlight a sequel, and here we are today. Hey guys, my name is Brandon, aka the BrandoCritic. Thank you guys so much for being here today. I really do appreciate it, and today I'm going to give you my honest, no BS, non-spoiler movie review today for Hocus Pocus 2 and tell you if it's worth a watch today. Now, like I say on every single video about any movie review, it's all opinion. So this is just my own personal opinion of the movie. Whatever yours is though, leave them down in the comment section down below. I love reading them. So we have Hocus Pocus 2 from director Anne Fletcher, and she has done movies such as 27 Dresses, The Proposal, The Guilt Trip, and Hot Pursuit. I will admit though, I've only seen The Proposal, which is hilarious. That Betty White scene. Hey, you guys know what I'm talking about. And of course, the Sanderson sisters are back. Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Kathy Najimy, they are all back reprising their roles as the Sanderson sisters. And yeah, I had fun with Hocus Pocus 2. Now, it's funny how I said that the first Hocus Pocus got a new popularity during the pandemic. Funny enough, that's actually the first time I ever saw that movie. They were actually showing it at the local theater down here. And it's funny, I'm born in 95, Hocus Pocus comes out in 93. It seems like a perfect movie to grow up with, but I guess we just never had that VHS tape in our house. So I never saw Hocus Pocus until 2020, and I really, really enjoyed it. Now, I don't think that this movie is as good as the first one. Even without nostalgia, I don't think that this movie captures that same magic, and I don't think that the characters are as strong in this one. But let's go into the good moments about this movie, because there are a lot of them. Now, growing up, I loved Halloween season, which is a bit ironic because I was a very scared kid. Every movie scared me. Even Prince of Egypt, the 1998 DreamWorks movie, kept me up for weeks with nightmares, and that's probably the movie I learned about slavery, right? But regardless, I was scared a lot as a kid, but I loved Halloween season. I loved the decorations, I loved the costumes, I loved the pumpkin carving, I loved trick-or-treating, I loved watching movies like Halloween Town on the Disney Channel growing up, right? So that's why I'm saying I would have loved Hocus Pocus as a kid. It was like made for me and my sister growing up. But I loved that 90s kids energy of those films like Casper the Friendly Ghost and Haunted Mansion 2003, but whatever. This movie, Hocus Pocus 2, really does capture that fun Halloween atmosphere. A lot of the performances, especially from the old townsfolk, are extremely over the top. They're very fun, very comedic, and the score, it just sounds like you're watching a movie on VHS with those old shell cases, right? And it's everywhere here, especially with the Sanderson sisters. I'm so glad that they do not feel like they have been in the cupboard or, in the ground, I guess, for 29 years, and they feel old and they feel rustic and they feel like they've lost a step. These actresses have not lost a step at all. They didn't miss a beat. All of them seem to be having just a blast on screen, and whenever an actor is just having the time of their lives acting these roles, it's contagious. And so when I'm watching it, I'm going, how can you not get into these performances? They're so much fun, they're so creative, they're just a whirlwind of enjoyment. Now, I wanted to talk about the humor because there are moments in this movie that are extremely clever and work really, really well. And then there are some other elements where I feel like the film was really trying to land those jokes and they just didn't work at all. But the humor that does work is where the writing really comes into play. When the Sanderson sisters, the witches from the 1800s who are talking about, thou cometh to my grave. So they're doing that whole Shakespearean old-timey English speak, and you're transporting these witches into modern times. You can have fun with it, and these writers definitely do, right? Like you see these witches go into Walgreens, and of course the doors open. Her magic powers open the doors for her. I wonder if I can do it too. Oh my goodness, right? So like they're having fun with it. And of course you see it in the trailer, how they're looking for brooms, but then of course Sarah Jessica Parker finds a Swiffer, then Kathy Najimy finds these Roombas, right? So it's clever things like that. Of course there's Snapchat filters that make everyone look young. Oh, I'm glimmering in beauty, right? So that's the fun stuff in this movie, and it's loaded with it. And side note, the songs are back. Great fun. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I just want to get the good out of the way first. The message in this movie, it's simple and effective. Sisterhood / friendship, right? So I'm a guy, I don't necessarily relate to sisterhood, right? But I do have a sister, right? And she is one of my best friends, and I've had groups of friends. This movie teaches us that, power and fame and glory, a lot of the times when we're searching for these things, we throw friends to the wayside. And this film is telling us that, yes, you might get all the glory that you want, but you have no one else around you, no one to share it with. It's a pretty empty life. So those are the positives of this movie, and it's quite a lot, right? But the humor that doesn't work, there's quite a bit of it, and it's not necessarily the writing of the staging of the scenes, it's more of the dialogue that really just doesn't land. Now, for example, Tony Hale is in this movie. He is the mayor and the father of one of the girls named Cassie. He plays this odd, strange man-child, very eccentric, very in love with Halloween, and whenever he gets upset, he turns into like a child. He has like temper tantrums, and I'm just looking at him going, I know that you know that what you're saying is not funny, but yet you're trying to make it funny. And it almost feels more desperate and pathetic that way. And yeah, it's pretty cringeworthy, I'm not gonna lie. Sam Richardson is also in this movie, and he runs the Sanderson sister gift shop, right? And he does this skit every single Halloween for the tourists and the young ones, like the Sanderson sisters will come back. He's this big Sanderson sister fan. I thought his presence in the movie was rather dull and cringeworthy as well, because he has this whole other side plot where he has to find, you know, the head of a lover, and he's got to find all these other parts and these ingredients for this potion to bring the Sanderson sisters back to life. And every time that I see him on screen, I feel like he's, again, really trying to find the humor. He's really trying to overplay the jokes, and they just fall flat to me. The humor with the Sanderson sisters and the clever situational humor, that works. But when you have certain side characters just trying to be funny, it feels very like children's theater. So that's not funny. But my main issue with this movie is that I don't feel like I know the main characters enough. Now, I have no problem with our main characters. I think our main characters, our three girls, our main friends, our main protagonists, are good. I feel like I don't know anything about them. Whitney Peak plays Becca, our main girl. I think she's good in the role. I think she's funny, charismatic, she's charming. She is a good lead for this movie. Great choice. Belissa Escobedo plays Izzy, her best friend, and she is kind of the comedic relief. She's the one always reacting to things like, what? What's going on, right? So she does really well in that role as well. And of course we have Cassie being the outcast friend, or the friend who is getting more popular, causing a lot of drama within the group. I think all three of these actors and all three of these characters are fine. However, I just don't feel that connected to them. Not because I'm a white guy. Just leave that at that. But here's my point. Max in the first movie, I feel like we really got a sense of who his character was, and we saw his progression and his change throughout the story. He's this new kid, he's from the West Coast, now he's going to Salem, he has no friends, he's getting bullied, so he's really struggling with that. He's struggling with his parents because he's resentful to them for moving him out there. And of course he's got to be the big brother to his little sister, but he's trying to act cool, he's trying to impress the girl he has a big crush on, right? So like we understand his character, we understand his motivation, his needs, his wants, his personality, and we see him progress throughout the story. In this movie, we don't really see Becca and Izzy really change. There's more of a misunderstanding with their characters, because the main issue is that one of their friends is now dating a popular guy, and they are kind of the outcasts of the school. They're kind of strange, kind of weird. They kind of like doing this birthday ritual every time it's Becca's birthday, and they like to do the witch stuff, right? Like, have you guys seen The Craft? Kind of like that. But then we find out Cassie's like, well, you guys stopped hanging out with me. You know, I wanted you to hang out with my boyfriend, Mike. We don't want to hang out with Mike. He's a bully. We don't want to hang out with him. One scene. There's like one or two scenes where we really understand the characterization of these characters, and that's it. I feel like we could have really gotten to know these characters and really got to care for them, but the movie didn't really give us a chance to. So I like these main characters, but I feel like we needed more of them. We needed to see their arcs, because the characters in this movie don't really change. The power was within them all along. Now, I will admit that in today's age, I'm kind of tired of that character trope. You know, the message is good about sisterhood and friendship, but I'm kind of tired of seeing characters who are perfect already. They just need to realize their potential. I don't find that as interesting as a character changing throughout adversity. And even though there is adversity through this film, which is more played for laughs and for general just plot structure, the characters' motivations and the change, you know, it changes within one scene, one simple misunderstanding. So I felt like I was kind of cheated with that. But overall, the question is Hocus Pocus 2 worth a watch? I'm gonna say yes, especially if you're a fan of the original. Now, like I said, I don't think that this movie is as good as Hocus Pocus 1. It's weird to say Hocus Pocus 1 now, but this movie is very cute, very fun. It has that spooky Halloween atmosphere. Definitely feels like a 90s film. Some of the humor works, some of the humor doesn't work, but overall, I left this movie with a smile on my face, and I think that you will too. I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5. So those are my thoughts on Hocus Pocus 2. Let me know yours down in the comment section down below. And for our secret phrase for you to write down in the comments so that I know that you've watched this far, I'm gonna say, there is a rotten apple in my trick-or-treat candy. Let's go with it. Sure, why not? And I also want to let you guys know that I have a Patreon account that every single month we do monthly watch-alongs, basically just movie nights where we all hang out, we pick a movie together, and we watch it. But if you want to join those watch-alongs, the link is down in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.